Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Nicole Hernandez in for Laura Papetti. We begin with breaking news at this noon hour. A grand jury has indicted the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students. In the last hour, we got the official court documents. Our Brandon T. Jones is in the newsroom right now. Brandon, can you break down what this means for the case?
Nicole, we have the documents right here. It's 3 pages breaking down each charge the grand jury indicted Coburger on. They indicted him on all 5 of the original charges, 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. This means the grand jury found there was enough evidence in the case for it to go to trial. Now, Coburger will have his arraignment on Monday at 9 a.m. Also, new at noon, the Latah County Courthouse says we will be able to have cameras in the courtroom Monday morning. That is where he will likely enter his plea of either guilty or not guilty. This grand jury process replaces the preliminary hearing that was scheduled for the end of June. The clerk's office could not tell us when the grand jury officially made the decision. In the newsroom, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Now here at KREM 2 News, we of course bring you more to every story. So this afternoon, we want to explain exactly what a grand jury is and what an indictment means. A grand jury is a group of 16 to 23 people that listen to the prosecutor and witnesses about the evidence against someone. In this case, of course, the group heard the evidence prosecutor Bill Thompson had against Brian Coburger. This is very different than your traditional trial jury. There's more people, and the decision does not have anything to do with guilt. The goal was for the group to decide if there's enough evidence to charge Coburger and have a trial, which of course they ultimately did. The vote happened in secret and the decision did not have to be unanimous. They just needed at least 12 yes votes to make that indictment. Now this replaces the preliminary hearing that was supposed to happen at the end of June. Both a grand jury and a preliminary hearing have the same goal, deciding if there's enough evidence for a trial. In a preliminary hearing, a judge would have made the final decision. Instead, though, the grand jury made the decision in this case. And right now, our newsroom is working tirelessly to break down the new details in this case. We're reaching out to the experts to answer the questions we still have and find out what is next. We'll be covering the story throughout the afternoon, so make sure to join us on KREM 2 News first at 4 for the latest. But in the meantime, you can always find the most up-to-date information on our website, krem.com. A Bonners Ferry family is out of their home after lightning struck a tree right near their house. KREM 2 spoke exclusively with one of the family members and has video from inside that home.
The ceiling was raining. It was coming out of all the light fixtures, out of the water, out of the power outlets. It was something.
So take a look at this video here. It's actually from inside the house. Ryan Jenkins says he and his family were just enjoying the thunderstorm when they heard a loud boom. The surge from that lightning actually had burst a pipe and flooded their house. The lightning also burnt wires throughout the house, filling it with smoke. Ryan says insurance should cover most of the costs to fix their home. The family is hoping to rent an RV to stay in while they wait. This afternoon, KREM 2 is also learning more about a house fire in St. Mary's, Idaho. Right now, we know that fire killed a 14-year-old girl. This, of course, has hit the small town very hard here. Donation sites have been set up across town for the girl's family. The school district superintendent says crisis counselors are in the schools to help students and staff who are struggling. Yesterday, the Idaho State Fire Marshal Service says the fire started from a damaged electrical cord on a freezer. Well, today, the North Idaho College Board of Trustees is holding a special meeting. This comes after police arrested a former NIC professor for attacking a board member. NIC says Zachary Schaubetter allegedly walked into trustee Todd Banducci's office unannounced yesterday. Schaubetter verbally threatened Banducci and threw a large bucket of liquid over his desk. Coeur d'Alene police arrested Schaubetter shortly after. He was released from the Kootenai County Jail last night. Schaubetter now faces charges of battery and malicious injury to property. Tonight's board meeting is set to focus on the board's legal communication, so we actually don't know if they will be talking about yesterday's attack. That meeting starts at 5 o'clock tonight. And in just 2 weeks, the Garland District will put up flags to celebrate Pride Month. They'll actually be on 7 different Avista light poles along West Garland Avenue, but there might actually be a few spots without flags. So the North Hill neighborhood voted in favor of putting up the Pride flags, but businesses also have the choice to opt out if they don't want a flag in front of their building.
We did vote as a community, including with the business owners in May, to pass the motion as we did in April with the amendment. If anybody didn't want the flag directly in front of their business, we would honor that decision.
So Neighborhood Chair Scott Webb says some of the businesses not in favor are worried the flags will affect foot traffic, but he wants everyone, of course, to feel included and respected. So if a business does or does not want a flag, Webb says the owner can just email him and he will let Avista know. And we do want to get to our weather this afternoon because, Thomas, it looks very red, very warm, but we're coming off of some moisture as well. So how long is that rain sticking around for?
Yeah, and of course, you and I know that there was some rain and thunderstorms across the area from yesterday afternoon. One such cell went from about Rosalia to Cheney that had a little bit of oomph. And while we'll be tracking that later on this evening, I think the story is more becoming what is above my head, and it's not perfectly blue skies out there. There's actually quite a bit of wildfire smoke in the upper atmosphere. So coming up, we'll take a look at some of the satellite imagery that is showcasing where it is coming from and where it's going. But in the meantime, still plenty warm. Low 70s at the moment, but I think because of that wildfire smoke overhead, it's going to filter out enough sunshine to prevent us from hitting 80 degrees. As we watch Doppler radar for any more showers and thunderstorms, looks like my eyes are attuned to our very northernmost areas. Looks like there's a little cell over Pend Oreille County, not really disturbing too much at the moment, and I think the activity is going to be contained largely to this area this afternoon. And if we see anything, it'll be that area this evening that has the best chance for any rain or storms. But we are still on track for just that. 90 degrees this upcoming weekend, easily going to be record highs for at least 2 days. So we'll show you just how quickly that turnaround comes around. Plus, again, a look at that satellite imagery and the wildfire smoke across Washington and Idaho.